In any armed conflict, one of the main characteristics of an armed force is its mobility and deployability. A highly mobile armed force is capable of all sorts of maneuvers, including a rapid deployment of troops and vehicles to key areas of the battlefield. A quick strike at a poorly defended area can lead to a cascade of consequences, sowing panic and chaos in the enemy ranks and creating opportunities for your own forces. Today we're talking about the most effective ways to use vehicles that were designed with this specific goal in mind: the American Airborne and Amphibious assault vehicles available in War Thunder. Let's start with the M22 Locust, an American Airborne light tank. It's incredibly tiny even for its low BR, which allows the vehicle to position itself even in the most confined spaces and squeeze through the tightest byways. Despite its size, the tank has more than enough firepower to fight enemy armor on its own terms, as its 37mm gun can pierce any rank 1 opponent right from the front. Naturally, that makes it very capable at its own BR. Another air-mobile vehicle that can be used in a similar way is the M56 Scorpion. The selling point of this tank destroyer is its powerful 90mm cannon that has access to a wide variety of ammo. You get APCBCs, APCRs, Heat FS rounds, and even HESH rounds. Having this many options means that ambushes aren't the only ways you can thrive on the battlefield. You can also be very effective in your intended role as a tank destroyer by engaging targets at medium to long ranges while supporting your allies' offensive. Just keep in mind that the Scorpion is an open-top vehicle with next to no armor. If you hear the artillery warning, don't hesitate. Get out of there ASAP. In this regard, the M50 Antos is considerably less vulnerable. It was based on the Scorpion chassis but received an armored cabin, and also mounted a fairly unorthodox armament, a whole battery of recoilless rifles. 6 106mm guns can fire 18 Heat or HESH rounds in just a minute, which is more than enough to destroy any armored target. You also get several coaxial machine guns that can be used to adjust aim and estimate ranges. Get into position, do a few ranging shots with your machine guns, and wait for the prey to come. If you prefer a more aggressive playstyle, stick to your more protected allies so that they could serve as a shield for you to freely suppress the enemy from a safe position behind their back. Advancements in tank protection forced engineers to come up with new radical solutions. The M551 Sheridan, an airborne assault vehicle, was fitted with a 152mm gun/launcher which could fire Shillelagh missiles. The vehicle has a light chassis and a powerful engine, providing it with an excellent level of mobility. The Sheridan can easily be the first to get to the key positions on the map, and then successfully defend them against all odds. Just remember that ATGMs reload several seconds longer than conventional ammunition. If you're engaging an enemy at close range, it's a good idea to switch to heat rounds immediately after your initial launch. Granted, they have low velocity, but it only really matters at medium to long ranges. The most recently adopted airborne vehicle in the American roster is the M1128 mobile gun system. It is an armored car of the Striker family that's armed with a 105mm gun and employed as a tank destroyer. Modern military doctrine is very big on mobility, and air transportability is a big part of that. So it made perfect sense for the Army to invest into a relatively small, air-droppable MGS to provide fire support for air assault forces. Due to its weak armor, it's at a severe disadvantage against MBTs at close range, but it's a completely different story when you engage your targets from a distance. The vehicle has access to both the 105mm M900 APF-SDS round and high-resolution thermal sights, allowing it to easily neutralize enemy tanks from all across the map. Basically, if you're able to secure an advantageous position, you're almost guaranteed to win any duel against an enemy sniper. Furthermore, the M1128 can be pretty effective when used defensively, as with its unmanned turret, it can dish out punishment without exposing its vulnerable hull. Naturally, your opponents can still destroy your gun, but after some quick repairs, you can go straight into action once again. Finally, we have the LVT-A1. an amphibious assault vehicle that gives you the most options as to how you can engage your targets. And yes, it is a reserve vehicle, but it's surprisingly hard to eliminate due to having a crew of 6 and a very spacious fighting compartment. The superior survivability of the vehicle allows it to engage several enemies at once and eliminate each of them with a couple of shots while they struggle to deal with your massive crew. A quick-firing 37mm gun is punchy enough to pierce enemy defenses even at long range, and it's deadly up close. Furthermore, the LVT can swim, which makes all sorts of daring flanking maneuvers possible. It's worth noting that the early version isn't the only variant of the LVT available in the game. There are several other models with different armaments, from a 75mm howitzer to the ZIS-2 anti-tank gun or the Bofors cannon. American airborne and amphibious assault vehicles are dangerous adversaries due to their high mobility and surprisingly high firepower. You have to be very careful and deliberate when using them to unlock their full potential, but in the end, it's all worth it. Are there any vehicles of this type that you particularly like? Tell us in the comments below.